Netanyahu's approach seemingly prioritizes political ambitions over the swift resolution of ongoing conflicts, revealing a deeper concern about forthcoming elections and accountability. This political calculus not only prolongs the conflict but also complicates vital negotiations, leaving both sides at an impasse. Meanwhile, the Israeli military asserts that it employs precision munitions to mitigate civilian casualties. However, the practicality of these claims invites skepticism. Expecting civilians to evacuate within a mere 15 minutes raises serious questions about the feasibility and ethics of such rapid responses in the chaos of warfare. Moreover, video evidence casts doubt on the claimed accuracy of Israeli missile strikes, as previous assertions have failed to reliably hold true throughout the ongoing conflict. This inconsistency undoubtedly impacts public perception, creating a narrative filled with uncertainty and concern. Furthermore, the discourse surrounding the morality and legality of targeting civilian infrastructure during military operations continues to ignite heated discussions. Such actions bear significant implications for international law and human rights, raising essential questions about the ethical responsibilities of military powers. In this complex landscape, the Douillet Doctrine emerges, which fundamentally alters the rules of engagement by classifying civilians in contested zones as legitimate targets. This controversial strategy, publicly articulated in 2008, marks a significant shift in military ethics and tactics. Additionally, the striking 100-to-1 ratio reflects a military strategy wherein Israeli forces rationalize extensive collateral damage as a necessary consequence of addressing threats. This underscores a calculated approach to warfare, challenging the principles that govern armed conflict. However, the principle of proportionality in warfare often stands violated, leading to catastrophic consequences for civilians caught in the crossfire. This concern is particularly pronounced in the context of Israel's engagement strategies, where the balance between military objectives and human cost becomes increasingly precarious. Lastly, international condemnation has proven largely ineffective in shaping Israel's military actions in Gaza. This trend reflects troubling patterns concerning accountability for violations and raises alarms about the state of global governance in the face of state aggression. In this intricate web, the role of the United States emerges as pivotal. With significant influence in the international arena, analysts contend that U.S. intervention is essential for instigating any meaningful resolution to the ongoing crisis.
Let's bring in Elijah Manier, a military and political analyst. He joins us from Paris. Elijah, good to see you again. What is your sense of where we're at right now? Is this the start of a new phase of the Israeli military campaign in Gaza City?
Thank you for having me. Well, beyond the military tactics, one wonder why now and why with such a scale? Is it the beginning of the invasion of Gaza City or a negotiation under fire? Flattening Gaza high rises isn't just about denying Hamas position. It feeds directly into Netanyahu's broader strategy. He doesn't want to avoid the war. He doesn't want quick victory. He wants his terms to be met, because if the war ends suddenly, he would be facing election and accountability. Therefore, not bringing the hostages alive, not willing to negotiate, not willing to give an answer to the positive reply of Hamas, then he goes to his best option is to go to war. And he's trying to say this is the beginning and the gate of hell will be open, as the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said.
And the Israeli army, before carrying out this raid, said that it took several measures to reduce the risk of harm to civilians. And they used precision munitions, apparently, as well as aerial surveillance, as well as additional intelligence information. This is a statement from the Israeli army. How genuine is a statement like this, given people were given 15 minutes to evacuate before the strikes took place?
Any military analyst would look at the pictures and the video that you are putting on screen. It's impossible for in 15 minutes to evacuate hundreds of tents and all the people, refugee living in one building, and then to go where? Is there any safe place? Are the missiles launched by the Israelis that accurate? We haven't seen that claim really manifesting itself precisely in the last 700 days of war. We've seen how the Israelis are killing civilians and sometimes apologizing, most of the time accusing them of being a Hamas. So no, it is not giving them enough time to evacuate and should not bomb in the vicinity of another refugee camp of people who evacuated more than 8 to 10 times from different parts of the Strip.
Okay, Elijah Manier, military and political analyst, joining us there from Paris. Thank you so much for your time. We're joined now in the studio by Mohammed Al-Masri, professor at the Doha Institute. Mohammed, as always, good to have you on the programme. What do you make of the events of the last hour or so? So we're now seeing the targeting of this high-rise building. Potentially more high-rise buildings will be targeted, according to the warnings by the Israeli army. Is this the start, in your opinion, of a new phase of the Israeli military campaign in Gaza City? And what do you make of the timing here?
Well, I think it may well be the start of a new phase, but what I actually want to highlight is that this is a continuation of much of what we've seen now for about 23 months. I think that a lot of this doesn't make sense unless we reference the broader Israeli military doctrines that govern their Gaza military conduct. So they have the Dahiya doctrine, which was laid out by a former military general in 2008 in an Israeli newspaper. So it's not some sort of conspiracy. He said it openly. He said that our aim is to punish civilians and civilian areas. Any place that attacks or out of which comes an attack against Israel is not considered a civilian area. That's what he says, and people can look up the quote. The other doctrine that's really important for Gaza is the 100-to-1 ratio. So at the very beginning of the war, according to Israeli media outlets, Local Call and Plus 972, high-ranking Israeli officials authorized the 100-to-1 ratio, whereby Israel gives itself the right to kill more than 100. I'm quoting the article now that was published in April of 2024 in Plus 972, more than 100 civilians in order to try and kill a single military commander. So that's why you get bombings, attacks like this, where an entire high-rise, we saw previously in the war, entire neighborhoods destroyed in a couple of hours, and hundreds of people killed, because Israel operates according to these rules of engagement. You don't have to be an expert in international law to know that this is a violation of international humanitarian law. It's a violation, a gross violation of the principle of proportionality. So even if there was a target in the area, but Israel wants to punish the civilians. It doesn't think that there are civilians in Gaza. And the ultimate aim, as you all have been reporting now, and I was following some of the other analysts, and I agree with them, the ultimate aim here is to drive the people out of Gaza altogether.
It's notable, isn't it, that when the plan for seizing the whole of Gaza City was initially announced a few weeks back by the Israelis, there was this international condemnation, wasn't there? Even within Israel, the Israeli army was complaining about how this plan made no sense. But once again, it hasn't appeared to have had any impact on Israel when it comes to carrying out what it wants in Gaza.
Yeah, well, as many very smart analysts, people much smarter than me, have been saying for many months, someone's going to have to stop Israel. There has been no genocidal actor which has ever stopped a genocide out of the goodness of its heart. And so Israel is going to have to be forced to stop. And right now, I think the only entity in the world that is capable of stopping Israel is the United States. They are the world's superpower. They hold the keys to the international system. They are capable of blocking, as they have been doing now for 2 years, all meaningful momentum toward a peaceful resolution in the United Nations Security Council. And they have, of course, other means. I think all eyes should be on Washington. And is there any sort of indication, is there any sign that the Trump administration is going to say enough is enough? He made some interesting comments this week about Israel, saying that Israel was losing the public relations war. But he's made that comment in the past. And so I don't sense that we're in for any sort of change, sadly and unfortunately.
Mohammed Al-Masri, Professor at the Doha Institute, good to have you on the programme.